It being 7 o'clock, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting and public hearing of the Madison Planning Board on March 6th. We have no alternates to elevate, so anyone wants to sign up to be an alternate. Number 3 would be approval of the agenda as presented.
Motion made.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Number 5 is public comment. Seeing no public.
Number 4. Minutes.
You've got the original, this is the new and modern one.
Okay.
Oh, we're doing public comment for 4 minutes now?
Oh, didn't we just do minutes?
No, we didn't do that.
We haven't yet, that's next. You do the agenda, now you do the minutes.
Didn't we just approve the minutes?
No, you do the agenda.
Oh, darn.
I'll keep you on track.
I'm going fast.
okay.
Approval of the minutes as
All right.
presented. Sorry.
That's all right.
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll
A
second.
motion has been made
I'll
and
second.
seconded to approve the minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Number 5 is public comment. Seeing no public, I will close the public comment period. Public hearing on case number 2304. Continued June 7th, 2023, July 5th, 2023, August 2nd, 2023, September 6th, 2023, October 4th, 2023, November 1st, 2023, December 6th, 2023, January 3rd, 2024, February 7th, 2024, boundary line adjustment for Agent Leslie Smith of Horizon Engineering's for property located on Gratian Drive, tax map 113, lots 55 and 56, owned by William and Lynn Oxford. Who is presenting?
Wes Smith from Horizons Engineering. We have the release of the covenant. We've sent that to the town, to the attorney. They've made changes, send it back to Matt. I believe that once they agree, I believe they have agreed, they're gonna have the Oxfords sign it and record it. When that happens and that's satisfactory, we will be, hopefully, after this meeting, there's nothing, hopefully we get conditional approval. We will be adding that release of the covenants. I'd like to add that next to where the Madison certifications are. Jason, see that? So that it's kind of where all the signatures are. And then I'd also like to, up here where the zoning variance note is that we received, I'd like to add the state subdivision approval number and reference that. And those, since we have received that also. So I think those were the only 2 outstanding things in order for us to proceed with the public hearing here tonight. But hopefully everything goes well, and if everything's voted appropriately, I'd like to request a conditional approval that add those notes to the plan, get the Mylar with original signatures, and whatever copies you guys need back to the town for recording. So, ready to address the plan. And of course, all the any rebar that are to be set have been set, so that will be a change. Anything that says to be set has been done. So that will be reflective upon the final plans also. The monuments will be all set. The plan you have in front of you does not say that they're set, so I've avoided making any revisions until public hearing. That's all I have to say. I guess if there's any questions, I think we've looked at this plan once a month for the last 10 months. I don't know if anybody has anything new, but that's I guess my spiel.
Just one question for the applicant, Mr. Chairman. I was looking at the minutes from last month. The water test, which is the hydraulic test done by Idolices Engineering, did you have that done yet?
Nope, we didn't need to have that done.
Okay, all right.
We can't technically have that done until there are lots and this is released, and then you do the septic design and apply
Septic
for
design
zoning.
will include that,
Yep.
right? Because that's one of the
Septic
questions.
design, I don't know if that includes that, but I think the building permit does, but I would imagine that, it will probably during the septic design. I thought it was the building permit process, but it's a little bit different now, so I'm just gonna go with whatever the village district
Yeah.
Edelweiss requires at that time is what we'll do.
Because I think in the septic design of the septic application, it asks, are you going to connect to a public water system or not? And they'll
Yeah,
have to ch-
and we put yes, and that's what the state
Yeah.
subdivision approval number is, and that's what one of the conditions in here is that it's approved with municipal water supply only.
Right, because you have to have municipal water, because it won't allow you to drill a well, is that correct?
They will, but you'd have to go back through state subdivision.
Right.
Any lot in Edelweiss could get a well on it.
Correct.
However, you'd have to go back through state subdivision and prove that you have enough usable area to put a well.
Right.
That wouldn't be impactful to another septic system or something like
Right.
that. 99% of those lots do not. Some do, some do not. So, these lots would not support a well. The only way they could support a well is if you combine them, then it could.
Yep.
So when we go through the septic process, it'll say the same thing. It'll just be a condition of approval. Then when you go to the building permit process, typically then that's when they do the water test.
Mhm.
If for some reason during that particular point, they said that they couldn't provide water, then that would be a hurdle for us to overcome
Okay.
at that point. Cause they can only get a building permit and they can only build on it if it has municipal water at this point.
Right. Yep, okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chair. Wes, can I see those plans? It's been 10 months since I last saw
Oh, you
those
don't have,
plans, so.
you guys don't have plans?
You gave them to us like 10 months ago,
I
but
didn't know if they didn't know if they. Yep. Basically the plan, I'm planning on putting the release there and the state subdivision there. That's the only changes I made.
I just gotta refresh my memory at this point.
Yep. Only brought one copy because I thought we had a bunch here, so, or we brought more, should have thought. And just to reiterate, it was originally 3 lots from the very original subdivision, then Mr. Oxford owned 2 and the town of Madison owned 1, and he merged 2, but he thought he was merging the 2 he already owned, but that's not the way it happened, and that's why we wanna move that and to create better, more usable building area away from the brook. That's the whole purpose.
Still some pretty limited space on this.
Well, so what we did was we moved the boundary line as little as possible to create enough building area to satisfy the regulations. We didn't want to move it so far that it went away from what we requested. Zoning variance be that we create a lot that would pass state subdivision approval that was less than the minimum Madison regulations, but we were creating a better lot. It's not a lot of area, but it is enough area. We have done the preliminary septic design. There was a design originally done on that lot. It will fit. It's just probably gonna be like a 24 by 34 house.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, it looks like that the only buildable area will be with the wetland setback here, 25 foot, 65 foot, you got this basically wedge right here, it looks like it'll be buildable.
Well, that wetland setback is not the wetland setback for
For buildings?
buildings.
Okay. Is that
This
50?
is, this is the setback for
That one,
buildings.
that one's a setback.
This is building setback,
Okay,
yes. This is septic,
okay.
but the septic setback has a 10-foot thing.
10 foot on the property,
Yes,
correct,
so
yep.
that is more, this state subdivision plan, which you guys also have a big copy of.
Yep,
That is the 4K area.
okay,
So that's where the septic system can go, that's where the building can go.
okay.
So does that make more sense?
It does, thank you.
Yep.
I was gonna say if this culvert gets blocked for some reason. backs up that way.
We intend on putting the septic as far to the,
Sure.
away from the culvert as
Yeah.
possible, and having the driveway on the left-hand side of that, and the building kind of as far to the right also as possible, to the east. Do you guys want to see the plan?
I'd like to.
Mr. Chair, Kate, I believe I got from the back and forth that our attorney has reviewed this.
Well, Carrie Ann was out, but one of the attorneys.
One of
in the
their
office,
attorneys
yes. And that's the markup change that you have, it's on the legal
I saw
size
that.
paper.
Yep, okay.
That's why I gave you both, I gave you Matt's first draft, and then I gave you her markup, and it's just added in some, I didn't do it in red, but you can see the difference in typo,
Yep.
typing.
Yep.
Just added in deed references that should have been kind of added in there, it's not a big deal.
And I don't think it's anything that is not gonna be amenable to.
No.
And if there is, just, whatever, the Oxfords and I have decided that whatever they have come up with the appropriate language, that gets recorded, and that's what we'll reference on these. That'll get recorded, then we'll reference it on the plan, and those plans will also reference that.
With as convoluted as this whole thing is, I just wanna make sure that everything at the end of it
Matt's
is.
recording that, right? He's not expecting me to do anything with
No,
that.
no, what we're gonna do is as soon as the attorney and everybody is okay with it, the Oxfords are gonna go, sign off on it, it's gonna get recorded, then I'm gonna get the recorded document in my hand, which I'll give to you, and I'm gonna add that information, the recorded book and page, to the plan.
You can just give me a copy, I don't need,
Yeah, but I mean,
I can get my own copy offline, so I don't even worry
right,
about it.
but I'll give that as public information, whatever. And then that book and page will be referenced on the plan, that's been recorded. The state subdivision will be referenced on the plan, and then I will give, how many copies is it? 4 paper copies?
For the Mylar? and
No,
the
there's
Mylar?
one Mylar, and then there's how many paper copies?
Yeah, I give me as many, 3 or 4.
Whatever, yeah, whatever it
I'm
is,
gonna put it in files.
all those will have the original wetland signature and the original,
Okay. That's good.
land surveyor signature, and then you
A
guys
copy will
will.
go in here, a copy will
Yep.
go in there, yeah.
Yep, and you'll sign all of those, and the Mylar will get recorded, and that Mylar will have all the references on there. I think that covers everything. Hopefully. And that plan does reference the zoning board decision on that also, so that can be found in your minutes, and I don't know if that zoning board decision gets recorded, I think it does, but I'm not
No,
100%
didn't
sure.
get recorded.
But it's referenced on there, that it's public record, it can be found,
Goes in the
Board
property
decisions.
file.
so it can be found here, so.
Yep.
So that is also referenced on there. So hopefully that, like, I'm hoping I've covered everything, and I don't think there's anything else left. So. It's been quite a process.
You gonna frame it when it's done?
What's that?
You gonna frame it when it's done?
Oh, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I mean, if we continue it 2 more months, we get a full 12
I
months.
know, right? And
out of this,
I've seen you guys once a month for the entire year, so that would be good.
You've been pretty much our only applicant though.
I know, it's kinda
Yeah.
crazy that I haven't seen another application
Yeah.
come through. Usually that's not how it is, usually you guys get 4 or 5 a year, and we've been cranking.
Yeah, there's been a building boom, but we haven't seen it on this end.
Yeah. Maybe I should move to Madison.
Or it's subdividable property.
That's what it is,
Yeah.
there's not much left.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not
much subdivision.
there's not much. People
No.
are doing weird things with weird pieces
Oh,
of
yeah.
property. I mean, they're trying to use every square inch, and I mean, we get this other septic design that is like a fourth of the size of the Presby pipes, which are like half the size of stone and pipe systems. So they're now doing this other system, which can be like, instead of like say,
The Aerofin.
yep,
Yeah.
instead of like, just so much smaller and all this other, it's like the AOS systems with the treatment in the tank makes it much smaller too.
I hope you guys are designing vents.
Oh yeah, we vent everything.
Yeah, because those, I'm seeing that there's some Aero vents coming through that don't have vents on them, and I don't understand that.
We just vent everything. It's bacteria needs to breathe,
That's
so
right.
if it can't breathe, it's choked out and doesn't break anything down. So it gotta have vents.
Anyone got a motion? You wanna have him come back? For a signature? You have, your process still is gonna take a couple weeks.
Yeah, just because of the logistics, getting the Oxfords to sign that,
Yeah.
recorded, put on a plan. The wetland scientist is not out of Conway. The surveyor's not out of Conway, so I gotta have the plans printed and moved around, so it's gonna be a few days anyway. But I was hoping to get conditional approval that I just submit the plans and maybe you can sign them out of session at your convenience.
Do we need to make a motion to such, just have you sign out a session?
Well, it would be an approval with
Conditional.
Right.
with a motion. But yours truly is not gonna be back until the eclipse, so.
So there's no one to sign it out of session anyways.
But
Vice Chair.
the
Yeah,
vice chair
vice
can
chair.
sign.
Paul, you comfortable with that?
Yep.
So, let's see, what are we looking for at this point? We're looking for subdivision approval to be put onto the plans. We're looking to see the release of covenant that is updated to the markup from our attorney. What else are we missing? What are the other conditions?
That's it.
That's it, really.
That was the two hanging ups. I'm hoping that's it.
So is that your motion?
So I'd make a motion that we conditionally approve the the application for getting the proper release of covenant and the subdivision approval to be put onto the plans.
Second.
A motion been made to approve these plans with those conditions. Any further discussion?
And then it can be signed out of session by Vice Chair.
Yeah.
I think that would be a second motion after the conditional approval's been met,
Okay,
technically.
good point. Yep.
So all those in favor of approving this boundary line adjustment with the conditions, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Make a motion that we allow the vice chair to sign out of session once all of these conditions have been met.
I'll second the motion.
A motion been made and seconded to allow the vice chair to sign these plans out of session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. That was easy.
It was easy today, yes, jeez. Do you need recording fees? And was there a check originally submitted, because I imagine it's expired?
No, I submitted I've already cashed all your checks.
Okay, perfect.
Your checks
Good.
got cashed a while ago.
Was just hoping that was all taken care of, and if it was,
Hold on one
then-
second, I don't believe so.
if there's any fees needed, let me know, I'll take care of that when I submit the
Yeah, I
plans.
don't believe we got recording fees, it was just the application fees and butters fees, so you typically know the L-chip fee and
Yeah,
$20
but it,
for
just,
the plan.
just double check on that, make sure that you have that,
You did pay a $30 recording fee, I don't know why it was 30, but you paid 30.
I don't know, so,
don't see,
if there's something that's not quite right, let me know and I'll take care of it.
yeah, let's do the L-chip fee, which you have to file with the plan,
Yep, but I'll give that to you separately.
so that's 25.
Yep, so whatever you need and I'll take care of it. Okay, Great, fantastic. So I'll email you a digital copy of the release when it's recorded, and then I'll drop off the paper.
I can get it off, you don't even have to bother, I'll get it right offline.
You sure? Cause
Yeah,
I just, I
right,
wanna make sure
I dial
that.
111 to the registry, I can get it
Okay.
right on my computer, so
Alright,
I'm good, thank you though.
no problem. Alright, well, thank you
Thanks,
very
Russ.
much, have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, old business, master plan information that Kate has got.
I got some stuff for you. Okay, so, I saw Paul at the grocery store. He forwarded me some information about, he got in touch with Colleen about a planner. Steve Whitman, he's from Resilience Planning and Design down in Wyndham. He is a planner. They can do planning, they start fresh with a new master plan, they do the research, they engage in the community, and his figure is roughly $75,000 to $90,000 roughly. He could do a meet over Zoom or a meet and come and talk with you. The second person I talked to was Jamal Torres, who is the planner from Conway, which we all know. Nice guy. He's up at North Star now. He's surveying for another company up north. Planning, not surveying, sorry. I talked with him at great length yesterday. He said his office could do the entire master plan and then the planning board review it. Or he can do like a 1-hour presentation in person or via Zoom to kind of give you an idea of what you need to do. When I was on the phone with him yesterday, I think he was online looking at the master plan because he said that's a typical 2010 master plan, and I said, yeah, it's kind of antiquated, and he said, yep, it is. And he could, depending on whether we had him come and meet or via Zoom would be cheaper, but it's anywhere from $300 to $500 to have him come in and have at a meeting and kind of let you know what you need to do. So those are the two I found. Thanks for Paul for helping me get one.
And the second one doesn't,
Jamal,
is like the $300 to $500 intro and then would be,
he didn't give me a price on what the master plan would be in the end, but he, as you all know, he was on Conway's planning, so, Sean Bergeron spoke very highly of him. That's where I got the referral from, and I actually thought about him too, but I didn't know how to get in touch with him, so I Googled him. That's how I found him. Sean felt that he was very thorough, he was good at what he did. So, I don't know. You guys tell me what you want me to do. They're both willing to.
and who does he work for?
North Star, they're out of New Gloucester, Maine.
Oh, okay.
He lives right, I think he lives in Freiburg or right in that general area. So, those are the two. There's not many out there. I did check into one that we use for our emergency management plan and mitigation, and she's retiring in 2025, so that's not gonna work.
On another note, Mr. Chairman, when I spoke to Colleen, in her past life, she had done a lot of work with master plans, and said if we had something that we worked on as a committee to put together, she would be happy to review it and help us put it together.
I
And
think,
that would not be doing the whole thing, but just advising
right,
and helping out to
yeah.
get it
Has
done.
anyone had a chance to look at Conway's? Cause I watched it. It's 111 pages. I went through the entire thing.
They're
It's
revised
nicely
master.
done. It's nicely done.
And who did they use? Did they do that internally? Did
They didn't, it's not posted. I don't know if they did. I can always reach out to Holly and ask her.
I think it'd be good to ask
It
her.
was nicely done. I mean, I think it's really involved for what our town needs, but it was very, yeah, they did a good job. I think they just presented it too,
They
the
just
first draft.
presented it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I got it. They sent it to me, which
Yeah.
was great. So,
Well. You know, whether, I guess it depends what level of master plan you wanna do,
right, and the price goes up as you,
as you get more thorough and,
I can forward that email that I got on Conway's if you guys wanna see it.
Yeah.
It came to me, I'll forward, let me write that down, cause I won't remember.
so.
Send
I don't know, you kind of read the master plan, and there's some stuff that is definitely outdated.
Yeah.
I don't think the goals of the master plan have changed
No.
significantly. I mean, you look at Conway's master plan, and everybody says the same thing. They don't mean what they say, but they say the same thing. They say, well, we want everything to stay the same, and the recreation and the land, beauty of the land, and all that stuff. But,
Well, that's what I say.
huh?
That's what I say.
Yeah, well, I agree,
And
but
I mean it when I say it.
And we haven't budgeted anything, so you're kind of at a
Yeah.
standstill for the, you'd have to budget money
I
for,
yeah, I think
or something.
or make sort of decide if, even if you present the selectmen with one or two choices
Right.
of,
Any way you look at it, it's gonna be close to $100,000 if you have a planner.
yeah.
Would this summary or introduction with this $500 fee give this planning board a good enough idea to know how much work is involved and whether we could do it internally, or do we need to go to warrant article next year, asking the voters if they want to approve?
I think if they really want an updated master plan, they're gonna have to spend some money.
Right.
I personally think that it makes a lot more sense to update demographics, update stuff that needs to be updated. I really doubt that there is, just like you're saying, much of a change of heart in the population, and spending the time and money on surveys and stuff like that, I think is probably gonna be a waste of time. But I think it might be worth putting it to a warrant article to see what the members of the community think. But I really see that we're a town that struggles already financially. Why do we want to burden ourselves with another $100,000 for something that in reality is not going to change anything that is done? And I just have a real hard time swallowing spending $100,000 on this when we could spend that $100,000 on a road and have a much better road, or any other thing that
Well, we could
actually
have
has,
a road.
yeah, that actually has some actual like tangible
Right.
effect. I bet you that there's probably less than 1% of the population in Madison that's actually read the
Oh,
master
yeah,
plan. And I don't feel that it actually changes anyone on any one of the board's opinions on how they're going to act.
It does need to be updated though, cause the page numbers aren't correct, I mean, it's kinda, it looks kinda crappy, sorry.
Would it make sense, the short money for that second person?
Jamal,
To come in and sit with us, review it, and give us some direction?
I think
Yeah,
that's
And then we
what he
pick it
would
up from
do.
there?
That's what from talking with him, that's what he would do. He was, I think he was already looking at it when I was on the phone with him, cause he said, that's a typical 2010 plan, master plan, and I said that it was antiquated, and he agreed, so, he may be able to give you some points of what really needs to be done, and
Mhm.
maybe leave well enough alone. I mean, you know the chapter 8's gonna be done, cause that's in the process right now. And it's like, hurry up and get it done now, so.
So,
Mr.
It's
Chairman,
not going anywhere.
the question I have is, master plan and zoning, they're all critical when it comes down to when the town gets sued for one or the other. And I guess my question is, the condition in our master plan is currently, does that leave the town liable for a lawsuit if it's so discombobulated as it might be, the ambiguity or even the numbering, as Kate had pointed out? Are we leaving ourselves open by not tidying it up?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't think it's an integral block to our legal defense.
Okay.
So, would be my thought. I mean, it's, yeah.
But going back to Paul's suggestion, bringing Jamal in, just to have him give us an idea what the amount of work, I think it's a good idea. It's not big money.
No.
No, I didn't think that was, I mean, $300 to $500, I didn't think that was bad. I mean, that's what he gave me for a figure, if he comes back with more, I'm gonna be like, no, you're gonna give me the price you gave me. So I'll be hard on that. But he's willing to come, he was excited about it actually. Cause I think he didn't get to see Conway's through, so.
So,
I'd like to see a written proposal from him of what he's gonna actually offer for the $300 to $500 before I would sign
Okay.
off on it.
Right, that's a good idea.
and I think it should be in person,
Yep.
because I
Yes.
think.
I did too, I didn't think the Zoom, I mean, he said he could do Zoom, but it'd be cheaper, but I think you wanna meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, plus that Zoom we had with the attorney was like, okay, nobody's really getting a whole lot out of it.
Right, and then when she came, and physically came, it was good. Okay, got that.
But you might do the opposite, is bring him in, get some direction from him and do it, and then do some of it, send it to him, and then maybe do a Zoom to go over it. You
Yeah,
know,
could do
after we
that
have
too.
some information on it.
Just get some guidance from him of where you need to go.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you, is that, you know, spending $100,000 on a document that no one's ever gonna read.
Yeah.
It's kind
Depends
of
on what you wanna do, if you wanna, you know, I mean, Conway, they've got a crazy, I mean, I'll send it to you guys and you watch it, it's, yeah,
so,
it's impressive, but they have the means to do it.
yeah, they
We're
have the
small.
resources.
Right,
So,
but I think we need to do something, cause it does, our master plan, I mean, you go from one page and then you miss 10 and you go to another, it's just a mess. It bothers me.
okay, so
Alright, so
you'll
done
try to
with that.
arrange something,
Yep, and I'll get a written proposal from him, I'll send that, if I can get something out of him, I'll send it to everybody, and then I'll schedule him now, you're not here next month,
no,
so, do you mind not being here if he comes next month, if he can come next month?
I just put it up to May 1st.
Or I can do
I
it
mean,
today.
it's not
I
really
can
that
put-
pressing.
Right, whatever you
Right.
guys want me to do, do you want me to schedule him for May?
sure.
Is that the next meeting? 'Cause I
May
don't know.
1st.
Thank you. Okay.
Is it April already? Oh, wait.
It's coming.
Just the weather is
Feels like
April. Wow. Okay. So we have a little bit of a plan on the master plan. New business. Chairman's report, I don't have anything to report. Besides, I'm on the ballot. Please do not vote for me.
Mr. Chair, under new business, I meant to add this earlier, I apologize. It's more of a question. I was looking, because I could have sworn that somewhere in our regulations, we had something about telecommunications for cable, internet, stuff like that, that we had a rule of some sort that required a portion of, once a utility came into town, they had to cover the town in a certain time frame. I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. Do you happen to?
And I know of that rule,
Yeah.
but I do not know where you would find it.
I looked pretty hard, but I'd be curious because,
Whether it's in the state RSA's.
well, no, it was something for the town. It was the town did something because the town of Madison had better coverage of cable back in the day, back when it was, what was it, that,
Spectrum.
no, before Time Warner. Anyways, that, they had better coverage in Madison than most of the surrounding towns, including Conway, because of that regulation. It was a local ordinance. I can't seem to find it. The reason I'm asking is because it appears we've got now Fidium on Tasker Hill and Allard Hill.
In 447,
Yep. But not in the rest of the town
not
yet.
in 367.
So the reason I'm asking is because it appears that they might not be in conformance with that regulation if we can find that regulation. So I looked pretty hard a couple of times now, and I've searched every single document. We do have one of our regulations is not in a searchable format on the website. Everything else was. I can't remember which one it was now, but one I couldn't actually type in keywords and search it. But I did search pretty hard, but it just curiosity, if we can find that I thought that there was some sort of rule about within a year of you coming into town, or maybe 2 years with you coming into town, you had to cover 80 or 90% of the town with your service to be in conformance.
I know in the wireless communications section of the zoning ordinance, it states that the wireless provider must cover the town. It's a three-angle array system from the antenna, and you can turn off the antennas that are facing over Madison, and we require them, Madison has to be covered. You don't wanna just get the traffic on Route 16 in Conway. So they're required to use send their signals over Madison, pick up our calls, but.
Yeah, and I found that telecommunications section for the cell phone portion, but I couldn't find the one, and I know it's there, I know it exists because I've read it once before, but I can't find it now.
I know the cable one must predate the cellular one.
Yes, yes.
So I don't know.
I figured if anyone might know, it would be you. I think you were probably on the planning board when that,
You know, and I can remember because they wanted to drag cable through my property to get into that part of Madison, so
Yeah.
they didn't have to go.
Sure.
But we didn't want that, so they didn't do that.
Yep. Just curious, where they're starting to get some competition for spectrum in town, I'm hoping it can cover the rest of town pretty quick and,
Yeah, because I never had cable.
really?
No, the cable stops at the end of the town road,
You would have to pay to get it to your house.
so I never had cable. But now I have fiber.
Yeah, are you Fidium?
Yeah.
Yep.
So. Because they don't have much cell service, but,
I don't know if that's something we want to look into or not, but
yeah.
I couldn't find the regulation. I know it exists, I just can't find it.
Trying to think who might know. You didn't ask Mike upstairs?
I didn't ask anybody.
Okay.
It was just something that came up because I got an ad for Fidium might be coming to the area soon, and looked on the map and suddenly saw that it was covering a portion of Madison. I was like, huh. I remember there's a regulation. I started digging and I could not find the regulation.
Kate, you could ask upstairs if anybody remembers.
I already highlighted it.
Yeah.
Because I believe that was a planning issue, so that would come on us for, if that's something we have to address, that would fall on us, if the town has to address it.
Okay. I'll ask upstairs tomorrow. Now that the auditors are gone, I can do that. I have time.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman? Not to belay, but just to, if I may go back to the minutes from last month. And on page 2 of 3, second to last paragraph, let Kate catch up to that.
Oh, I just threw them. Oh, right here.
You got it? Okay. States that Buckley stated the town of Bartlett is handling short-term rentals the same way Madison
Yep.
Planning Board handled them.
That's quoted.
Yeah, and I guess what I meant to say, it just by itself, it doesn't say much, but we weren't proposing any new regulations this year either. That's what Bartlett did.
We,
Do you want me to change something on it? I can.
Yeah, because by itself, it's like, well, what did they do? And what I was pointing out was the news article in the Sun.
yeah, they were doing nothing and.
Right, they decided to do nothing, and that's exactly what we did. And I know the selectmen have been challenged to do something, but the agreement that the Board of Selectmen have had with the planning board earlier, and not this year, but last year,
Yeah.
you're holding to that, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
So what do you want me to add?
In proposing no new regulations.
Let's see, in proposing, at the end there, in proposing no new regulations?
No new regulations, correct. And that's all I have. So do I need to make a motion for the amendment?
Probably better do it clean, that's clean, yeah.
I'll make that motion to amend the minutes.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded
Second.
to add that to the
Second.
minutes.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yes, have it. Selectmen's report, what about those STRs?
I'll give you good news first, we received judgment in the Danforth Lane case in our favor.
Now, now that's the selectmen.
Yes, I don't know where that stands otherwise,
We're
because
so-
there's,
You're good.
We're
We're
good.
next. ZBA, not we're, it was
ZBA.
ZBA's next
Yeah, yay.
on the chopping block, but
So the ZBA is on, oh, for not allowing what?
So-
Remember,
what did you
I
have
don't
for
have the
there?
files with me off the top of my head.
Well, they're appealing the planning board, not the ZBA.
And ZBA too.
No, the
We have a
ZBA
case-
too?
We have a case with the ZBA too, yes. And it was pending
No.
on,
Because of their decision.
There was,
dependent on this decision with the selectmen, how it went, whether the ZBA case was gonna stay or go forward. Well, now, it's gonna, obviously, because they won, it's gonna go forward on our end.
well, and the same thing for the planning board too, if I remember right, because he couldn't do the subdivision that he wanted to do because he didn't have class 5 road frontage. So that's, we didn't have an active case, I don't believe, because it
No.
was.
Yeah, we did.
We did?
Yeah, because we were gonna go to
Right,
court.
No, that's Palmer.
Well, that was
Lane.
Palmer.
That's
That's
different.
Palmer, you're getting other one, yeah. this is-
So Danforth Lane wasn't, nothing was happening until the select board's case
Right.
was heard because
And we were at a
they
stay.
didn't have standing to even try to get us because of the fact that they didn't have the road frontage until the selectmen's case was heard.
Yeah, so now.
So
our
now that they don't
attorneys
have
are-
road frontage, they still can't, I mean, I don't think that they would have a case because they don't have the class 5 road frontage, so they wouldn't be able to come to us.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was for ZBA now,
I,
but
I'd have to go pull it up and bring it downstairs, but I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know that we were at a stay and this was months ago, so that's why.
wasn't
been a
ZBA
while.
because he was building without a permit?
Something,
I think it was building,
Yes.
I think it was
Yeah.
building without a permit.
Mhm.
I think that's what that was, because he was building without a permit, I believe.
But I don't think the planning board was involved.
Not yet.
Yeah.
He came to us,
Yes.
but then when we told him that he had to have frontage on a class 5 road or better, 200 feet per lot,
Right.
and he argued with us about what the standard would need to be for the road, and we said you need to do that to the selectmen first, and then come back to us once you get that. And that's when that lawsuit began.
The selectmen declined to lay out a class 5.
Correct.
And I think they went to the zoning to have the zoning overturn the selectmen, didn't they? Wasn't that the case?
Appeal their decision.
Possible,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd have to look at it again, but that's very possible. So it sounds like they lost to us, so now they're gonna take the ZBA to court.
Hate to say it, that's kind of what I saw when they showed up with an engineer and an attorney at their first meeting. Hadn't seen that in a while.
Did they have an actual attorney?
Yep, they had their attorney and their
No,
engineer.
the not attorney
Right.
attorney.
I was gonna say, not, they didn't have an attorney.
Oh,
No.
oh,
He was an attorney.
suits?
Yeah, it was Craig.
Also showed up late on site visits.
But as far as short-term rentals go, the case that was denied by the ZBA has been forwarded to Cordell, and he is forwarding it to the courts to levy fines. But that is the only case that has been dealt with so far by the ZBA. The rest are continue to be continued.
Continue to be continued because the
I
ZBA
think
doesn't
we're gonna have
have
a
a.
full board this month.
They do have a full
I
board?
think so. Fingers crossed that nobody gets sick or anything. I think it'll be the first time in,
So what's the tax map and lot number? Do you know that?
I can tell you his last name,
I know the
Gage.
case number.
But I don't know off the top of my head.
Because
Otherwise, on
I was just trying to be professional about it without having stuff over.
So,
Air it all. Let him hear it all.
So is he intent to have him fined for still advertising to rent in the period that his case was being heard, or?
It was after his final appeal in January.
Mm-hmm.
If he was still active after that appeal was
Okay.
denied, the fines would be levied per day from that point forward.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Gotcha.
what happened is he had his appeal, but then he filed a motion for rehearing amendment. And I received that on February 12th. That should have actually not come to the ZBA, that should have actually gone to the Housing Board of Appeals or the Superior Court. So it came
Right.
to the ZBA, so kind of, it's not our jurisdiction, it's out, gone.
And I think once he realized that it had gone the wrong place, he had missed the deadline.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
Well,
Yeah, it
last
was
day, yeah.
passed, yeah.
So that's still in the works.
Yes.
And you haven't sent any additional letters than the initial 40 or whatever it was?
Not yet.
I think the selectmen have been busy with budgets.
Oh.
Which
Okay.
I believe we will be below, I will be in the negative as far as last year versus this year at town meeting. Budget did not increase at all, it decreased.
I saw that and I didn't get a chance to thank the
So
selectmen, but.
with the budget that's on the current warrant, I think we were at 1/10% over last year.
Mhm.
But we got the check from the cable company,
Oh.
and it ends up being a little bit lower than what we allocated to PEG TV, which means we get to reduce that line item. I think it was by $3,000 or $4,000. So we'll be below last year's budget going into this year.
Wow.
That was amazing.
With all the roads.
With all the
Yeah.
roads.
And you still have road stuff coming.
We still have FEMA cases open, hopefully some money coming back from that. And we still have some minor things to repair from those storms, but
Was the town notified by FEMA that the mitigation for, the name of the road slips me. The one where the big washout was,
MODOK?
MoDOC, the big culverts, yeah. That they would not be giving you mitigation to build that road correctly, only enough to put it back the way it was.
They left it kind of open-ended. They said there's occasional option for mitigation, but the percentage that they offer to help with is significantly less
Yeah.
than what they offer for restoring it back to its original. So there is some help there that could be done, but not much.
Because Edelweiss, the village district, filed a similar case in the Grissom and Bergdorf Road washouts. And I believe Edelweiss was told that they will not support paying for the mitigation, which we already have engineering designs and have for years with wetlands permits, to replace the Grissom culvert, which is cost as high as $650,000, and the Bergdorf, which I think was $500,000, so $1.2 million for just 2 culverts. And they said no. Now, they told us we could put it back the way it was, we have, and now Grissom Road is closed because it collapsed.
Yep. Costs money to take care of infrastructure.
Yeah. So that road is, in case anybody doesn't know, that road is closed.
At what point?
Down by,
Must be the east end.
yeah. Yeah, towards Aspen. There's only one house between the culvert and Aspen, so plow trucks have to turn around. Emergency vehicles as well, so they know about it.
Those roads, but you can tell by the value of real estate that the enforcement action from the selectmen have really depressed the value of real estate in Madison.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but.
Okay. So maybe it wasn't SGRs that were driving the price up? I don't know. Correspondence and administration.
Okay, so, last month we talked about that Liberty Mutual bond. and I sent it off to our attorney, and she responded back. Because there was a question of 10,000 was enough. Yes. So she responded back and said, it's hard to know what amount will be sufficient. Some towns, like Woodstock, require a bond of $25,000 per acre, prorated for partial acreage above 1 acre. I think this is fair and is generally sufficient to cover reclamation. I cannot guarantee that in all cases, of course, so this is just from my experience. As a side note, the bond is a requirement prior to issuing the permit, or at the time RSA 155-E was adopted, if they are grandfathered. We don't have clear legal authority to require an additional bond amount now, unless the operation has expanded. We can try and assert our authority to request more and see what they say. So I don't know where you wanna go with that. That was the $10,000 bond for the gravel pit in Madison, the Kennett property. That was, I gave it to you in your packets last month, so.
So the bond was for the reclamation, correct?
So that was the response, so.
But if they're continuing to excavate, obviously the area is
Expanded
becoming
the pit.
larger and larger.
Yeah.
But if you're expanding an active pit within your property boundaries that you were
Granted.
and permitted, so they did have to submit a plan. So if they're expanding beyond what the plan shows, in that case, then we would have some sort of legal bounds to go after them for more money. But if whatever plan they have on file, if it is not expanding beyond what they put on that plan, then unfortunately, even if that was back in the 80s, $10,000 was a lot more than it is today.
Right.
That's what it is. And I 100% agree, $10,000 won't even get you probably an acre of restoration. And I don't know what that site is, but I'm gonna guess it's probably 50 or 60 acres at least.
I don't think it's that big. Because he's surrounded by
By
Coleman.
Coleman, yep.
So. I don't,
Can we ask him to produce a plan to show us if he's beyond that?
they probably have they probably have a plan.
Yeah. Send us a-
We should have it on file
Yeah,
somewhere
yes.
too. We should.
We should.
I don't know if we do, but we should.
That dates back quite a ways. And what was the request for the bond? They didn't want it released. They wanted it changed.
Converted.
No, it's a continuation certificate for gravel pit restoration bond for Pike Industries. And then Pike respectfully requests that the town consider allowing Pike to convert this bond to a continuous surety bond. A continuous surety bond remains in full force and effect until canceled. We feel this would be more convenient for all parties involved.
And that is the question there more than the amount or the area.
It's a restoration
So
bond.
did the attorney address that?
No, just what I read to you is what she
That's what she's
responded.
got to address, I would think.
I would think that's the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's legal mumbo jumbo. I don't know what the
Right.
difference between a continuing surety.
I have no idea either.
I've never heard that term.
Yeah.
I mean, I can ask her to
Yeah, I would think that would be the,
get in touch with them and try to assert the authority to request more, because like she said, other towns are around 25,000, so.
I thought it was just that they were questioning the structure of the bond more than.
Right.
It's a
72
continuation,
acres.
so it's been going
So
on
it's
for a while.
72 acres.
Before my time, I mean, they must have sent this before, because it's a continuation, so it must be coming. I don't know how often they come, this is the first time I've seen it, so.
I can't remember, we
I don't
had
know if it's yearly or,
we had a site plan back when they put the new plant in.
Yeah, but that wasn't anything for the pit.
For the-
That was just
right.
for the asphalt plant.
Asphalt plant, yeah.
Actually, it's more than 72 acres because it's 2 lots. But that 72 acres is other than one small chunk,
It's all excavated.
it's all excavated.
Yeah.
And I think that's
And they-
all been excavated for
Ever,
probably at least 20 years,
yeah.
I would say.
key
that.
words are, we don't have clear legal authority to require an additional bond amount now, unless the operation is expanded. So those are the key, that's the
Yeah.
key.
We need to see that plan. That's what will tell us if they've expanded beyond what their original bond amount was covering.
Okay, you're gonna send me on a wild goose chase, I wonder where that is.
I'm good at that.
I know, you do that to me, I don't know where I'm gonna find that. Okay, so that's that, and then I did get a zoning board of adjustment notice for Effingham. It's the whole Lakes Region Planning Commission, I think it has to do with the gas station down there. It's today at 7 o'clock, so you went by it. So I just got the notice the other day, so not time to tell anybody, but you wouldn't be able to do it anyway because you're here with
Right.
me. So I just figured I'd tell you that.
Is that gas station still?
Yeah. It's a public notice of appeal of administrative decision application for a public hearing. And then, just a little housekeeping, next month we'll have election of officers to add to the agenda, so I'll put that on the agenda for next month. Pomeroy versus Madison. So Carrie Ann sent an email to both of us. You were supposed to answer her.
When did she do that?
On February 22nd at 12:25 p.m. I have to take time,
12:25
in the afternoon.
afternoon.
She wanted to know, did you want her to, because you asked about a hearing date, we have a new hearing date, and we don't, because the January 24th date was canceled.
Right.
And do you want her to push for another hearing date or let lie? She thought probably the latter. Of let lie for now.
They're waiting for a new judge to come on board and get up to speed, right?
Well, he's on board, I think he's just not probably up to speed yet, because he's getting all the cases for the entire state.
No point in pushing it.
Yeah. I would
Look,
think
if
so.
they,
Just
and
leave
we
it
don't
alone.
care.
Just
Yeah.
wait until we get rescheduled, that's, I
Right,
mean,
right.
you're sitting,
Yeah.
and
No
from
point
working at the
pushing it.
court, you're just, your file is probably in a tickler system and it's just sitting there waiting to,
I thought they had, the rule was 30 days.
it doesn't work that way, depending on how overloaded the court is.
They must make the rules.
30 days.
I mean, you're supposed to have court decisions within 30 days, or orders within 30 days, and that doesn't always happen either. I used to type them, so I know. It depends, you know, judges are on vacation, judges are traveling all over the state to cover for other judges, it's, yeah. So just let it lie, I'll answer her for you.
That, yeah, I'm sorry,
It's all right, I'm just following up.
so,
And then one last thing to report, I have all of Banfield Hollow's as-built plans, and I'm driving them to the registry on Friday. So they'll all be recorded for all the lots that were outstanding. There were 4 of them, so we have all of them.
Friday's your day off.
I know, but I'm gonna do it before I have to go work at King Pine. It's not my day off. I work there too. So I'm just gonna take them down to the registry, get them on record, and then they're done.
and those are fees that we collected a long time ago?
Linda is not sure because what really should have happened when he sells a lot, title work
Right.
would have picked up that an as-built plan needs to be recorded at that time. I don't know how those happened, they may have been cash deals that didn't get I don't know. But they should have been done, because when I used to do my commitments for title insurance, that was my first requirement, was record an as-built plan for that home lot. And that, when I had lenders, and that was a requirement of a lender. How these other lots, I don't know what happened, it wasn't my party, so. But I'm just following up to make sure they all get on record, because they should have been done before. And he's probably paid the fee somewhere, but Linda she couldn't, it's $75 for the L-chip fee, and
Per lot?
each lot, yep, there's always an L-chip fee for each plan you record, that's what I was saying to Wes, to make sure to get me the L-chip fee. And then $28 to record the Mylars, so those will go on record on Friday, and we should be good, because I know we were talking about making sure that's all cleaned up for town meeting, so that will be done before town meeting. So we should be good.
Is the warrant out?
The article, yeah.
So it'll be on record, and we should be good to go.
we live on the north side of town, I guess we don't get, so.
Town reports
Town
available on
reports
the website.
upstairs, if you
and
want
there's some
one,
upstairs.
just, they're upstairs too, I can get you one if you want one.
They don't let me upstairs.
You can come upstairs, we let you in the door.
That's what I did, no. Okay,
That's all I have.
that was enough.
Sorry, it's a lot.
Like text messages, phone messages, and email, a lot of times for me are like one way. You send something to me, I read it, and that's it.
That's all right, I will make sure.
It doesn't encumber me with a response.
That's all right, I'll follow up, that's what I do, I keep track of everybody, so. You're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Motion made to adjourn, seconded to adjourn, all those in favor?
Aye.
I
Opposed? The ayes have it.
did not, it was, all.